This is the only guide you're going to need in Phase 2 of Season Discovery as a Restoration Druid for both leveling, pre-biz and biz gear. Let's start off with pre-biz and leveling. Some of this is going to intertwine. Now, depending on your professions, this is also going to depend on what you take and how you play, whether you play in PvP, etc. On the head then, we can go for the Neuro-linked Arcanofilament Monocle, pre-biz meaning it's not from Nomagon, this is from tailoring and therefore we can get it straight away. Also, when you're leveling at level 27, if you have a ton of gold in the bank, or just in your bags, then you can get the Holy Shroud. This is a world drop and is really powerful, available at level 27. There is also the Papa Fez on a really low drop rate as well, which could be available. Whitemane's Chapeau, which is from High Inquisitor Whitemane in the Scarlet Monastery, where you're probably doing a lot of leveling anyway. And from the Fallen Champion, there is also the Embalmed Shroud, again in Scarlet Monastery. There is also 2 items that are BOEs that are green you can get off the auction house pretty damn easily. The big old Voodoo Mask and the Urgrel Shroud. Any Urgrel Shrouds in the chat? I don't think so. Increasing damage and healing by 11. And also at level 28, the Enchanter's Cowl being available from tailoring, which will be BOE again on the auction house. On the neck, one that's actually coming in pretty busy anyway is the Ghost Shard Talisman. It's available at level 30 and it's from Azir the Sleepless, again in Scarlet Monastery. There is going to be a theme here, a lot of this is coming from Scarlet Monastery. Triune Neculus is also available from the Scarlet Monastery, giving 7 intellect, spirit and stamina. And there are these items as well, which are both from Raise Fen Downs. This is the old version. This is the new SoD version. You can see a lot of these, remember, have been ramped up for Phase 2 rather than their original classic versions, making them a lot better than they were. Do be careful when you're looking at the sources. You're not accidentally going for the old version and thinking it's a load of old rubbish, when actually we have a lot better versions as casters now in Phase 2 of Season Discovery. You can get the Caretaker's Cape at level 38, so quite high there, but remember, this is from Honoured with Silverwing Sentinels, etc., and it is available also at level 28 and 18, meaning you could just upgrade your cloak easily using PvP every 10 levels. Maybe something that you are not aware of, but there are multiple level variants of these. And again, from tailoring, there is the Long Silken Cloak, which is available at level 32 and is again a BOE. On the chest, there's a lot of BOEs that you can go for. It's getting quite expensive on this slot. There is the Dreamweave Vest from tailoring. There is the Robe of the Magi, which could get exorbitantly expensive. There's also the Robe of Power, which again is bind on pickup, but is from tailoring. And then we've got things like the Black Mage Weave at level 36, the Earthen Vest level 29, and at the higher end with leatherworking, the Big Voodoo Robe. You can see there's a big voodoo set here that we can be getting again on the head, etc. These pre-biz wristbands are actually level 40 and are from Warsong Outriders on Exalted. They are really good. If you're not going to do that, however, at level 34, you can get the Guardian leather bracers from leatherworking. At level 35, you can get the Staff of Jordan. Now, I've seen this going for about 250 gold on my server, so it is exceedingly expensive regarding really how long we're actually going to have it for once we get into Nomagon. However, it is a really good staff if you can afford it. Otherwise, I would go for the much cheaper Spellforce Rod BOE at level 36, or at 38, there's the Lawkeeper's Staff, again from PvP, meaning you're guaranteed to get this one. Or, again, if you are in Scarlet Monastery, there's the Hand of the Righteous from High Inquisitor Whitemane. This is available at level 39, so on the higher end of things. On the lower end of things, there is also the Illusionary Rod, also from Scarlet Monastery Arcanist Doan. The Beacon of Hope is a held and offhand item, again, that's going to be very expensive BOE. But there is also the Eye of Paleth you can get in the wetlands, so that's only available at level 22. Remember, you should also be doing BFD as you're leveling because of the free KXP per boss, which is really efficient. So a lot of the gear that you can actually get available in BFD is also going to be really available and really useful to you while you're leveling, and actually making you a little bit overpowered while leveling, which is of course really fun. Pre-biz on the gloves, we've got the Dreamweave tailoring gloves. There is a lot of tailoring gloves here you can see, and a few world drops. Gloves of Old at level 29, Warden's gloves at level 36, red and black Mage Weave at level 40 and 38 retrospectively, and also the True Faith gloves as well, which again are from tailoring, and these are available at level 25. So it really doesn't matter if you want to be doing PvP, dungeoning, raiding, BFD, all of those different things, even questing, there are a lot of options available for you. At level 34, again from tailoring. Tailoring is just amazing for pre-biz and leveling, it really is. We can get the Earthen Silk Belt, there's also the Star Belt, which actually kind of comes in, both of these in pre-biz anyway, at level 35 here as well. And if you're way back on phase 1 still, don't forget you can get the Belt of Aragol at level 24. Shadowfang Keep and the Dead Mines, etc. are going to have some really good items in there as you're leveling up in those early levels if you are watching this. Now, one thing that you can't forget is, of course, the epic items you get from tailoring in phase 1 of SoD, namely the Spider Silk extra planar boots, and this is through a big old quest line. However, they're really quite easy to get, especially now in phase 2 when these materials, at least on my server, are a lot cheaper. And as you can see here by the tooltip on here, this is phenomenally overpowered and will do you all the way up to level 40 until you get into the raid. If you don't want to do that, you can quite simply just get the normal Spider Silk ones from tailoring, the Boots of the Enchanter, which are BOE from tailoring, same with Furin's boots. These are also BOE from tailoring. And there are things like the Warden's foot pads, which are leather, and these are, again, bind on equip. It does seem like if you're not doing questing, that it's just a hell of a lot of it is really just going to be BOEs at this point. A lot of it can be quite cheap. But as you're going through the dungeons, especially Scarlet Monastery, if you've been doing BFD, you're going to be absolutely fine. Again, when we spoke about the cloak and upgrading it from PvP, I would recommend doing the same on the ring with the Lawkeeper's one, sorry. This is on Alliance, there's a Horde equivalent. And you can see here on this ring, it's level 18, 28, and 38. And I would just upgrade these. If you're on Horde, try and get something like the Seal of Sylvanas, or on Alliance, get the Seal of Rin. The Sylvanas one is kind of rubbish. The Seal of Rin is amazing, however, and this is started by a questline, an unsent letter from Edwin Van Cleef's cold, dead, lifeless body at the end of the Dead Mines once you've cut him off, shall we say. So that's how you get that. And it's a big old questline running around Stormwind like a lunatic. So there's also the Shifting Scale Talisman. This actually gives 5 spirit, and this is actually from doing the epic boots quest, the extra planar Spider Silk boots. You are going to get this talisman while you're doing that quest line, and this is a really good way to actually get a quick, easy trinket if you're leveling and haven't even done much dungeoning yet, or don't have the Akume trinket. Speaking of which, if you haven't gone into Nomagon yet, and of course you are looking at pre-biz, then the Bloodbound Grove Talisman is a really good trinket that you can get from the PvP Stranglethorn Veil event. It's level 40, however you can of course do this event whenever you want, and before you go into the raid, it is a really useful one. Looking at Biz then, we're going to be looking at a lot more items that are actually from Nomagon itself. Still going for the Neurolinked Arcana Filament Monocle from tailoring. The Mad King drops the Pendant of Homecoming on the neck, giving MP5 and healing, and also spirit and intellect. The Vicious Fallout in Nomagon is going to give you the generously padded shoulder pads, very generously padded. And then we've got the Cloak of Invention on the back from the Electrocutioner 6000. We're going to be going for the Hyperconductive Shimmer Shirt set, which is on the shirt, pantaloons and sandals. So you can see we've got the free set here. These are all from Nomagon as well. You can see here it's coming from the Electrocutioner, STX, and Mechaneer Thermoplug himself. On the wrists, we can go for the Tinker's Wrist Wraps. These are really, really good, and these are from the Crowd Pummeler 960. However, the Dryad's wrist bindings from Warsong Outriders Exalted are also phenomenal. The Defibrillating Staff from Vicious Fallout, again, is going to be the best in slot on the staff, where we can defib our allies back to life once they've, hit the bucket. Something to do with buckets, they're dead. But they're back because we've defibrillated them back to life with our defibrillating staff from Vicious Fallout and Nomagon. Black Fingerless Gloves on leather hands. These are from Twilight Lord Kelris. It's really interesting that these are still actually biz and there's nothing better out there. I kind of think that was a bit weird, really, but there we go. I've simmed it and that is the case. I've actually sat here for days simming all this now that we have all of the information, making sure this is super up to date. Mechmender's Sash, again, on the waist from the Electrocutioner 6000. We've already spoken about the pants and the boots. The Hypercharged Gear of Innovation is fantastic for healing. And again, this is from Mechaneer Thermoplug in Nomagon, and this is really good. There's one for DPS, healing and tanking, etc. By the way, guys, if you actually want to see all of this in action, I am now streaming on Twitch over at Javi Heals. There is a link in the description for. And if you want to also play with other people, if you have any questions, etc., please don't hesitate to join my Discord, where we have a really friendly, beginner-friendly especially, community where we're happy to help you with any questions regarding UI, add-ons, gameplay, rotation, gear, anything at all, whether it's SOD, retail, or RAF. So the Lawkeeper's ring at 38 is still going to be BiS on the other ring. And then we've got the miniaturized combustion chamber, which is a really cool one. And this is actually from Mechanier Thermoplug himself as well, channeling health into mana on a 30-minute cooldown and increasing healing effects. The Acolyte's Void Pearl from Akamai is still BiS on the trinket from the last boss of BFD, Akamai, of course, and still going with that mind-expanding mushroom from BFD as well on Lorgus Jet. And that is pretty much it. So you can see there's a lot of options, a lot more than obviously we had in Phase 1, especially a lot of BOE items, but necessarily they're not as expensive as in Phase 1, notably because of tailoring and the amount of green items we can get from it. I am doing gearing guides for pretty much all classes for you guys, and I have also already done full guides for every class. Check those out on my channel, and as well, if you play retail, I've done those ones as well.